Hey guys, welcome to a unedited episode of every Marvel movie ever. I was gonna say it's very special, but it's really not.
It's very special in a different kind of way. In the bad way.
In the worst, most boringest way. So before we get into that, I'm your host, Gabe Thomas. With me as always is my co-host, Francisco Alcala.
You know that by now.
We're on episode 8, guys, come on. I had things I was gonna plug. What were they? A few weeks ago, I wanted to plug my friend Paul's podcast, The Podcag. You can listen to that on YouTube. So let's look up The Podcag. I'll leave a description of that in the fucking show notes.
I'll leave a description of that.
I'll leave the link to that in the show notes. Paul and his friend Matt, they do really funny stuff over there. I was on an episode of Cult Popture for a little while. And they just ripped into me for about 10 minutes. So if you guys want to hear that, that's very funny.
I mean, that's not very hard.
No, it's not at all. But I got to talk about Halloween 2 and how I think it's the best sequel of all time, which I really don't. I just want to be a contrarian asshole, and they really fucking burned me for that. And what was the other thing? I don't remember. Maybe I'll probably think of it halfway through the show.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, today we are talking about the brand new final installment in the Fox X-Men universe that's been going on 19 years now, Dark Phoenix.
But remember, it's not an X-Men movie. It's just Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nothing to... completely unrelated to X-Men.
The very first problem with this movie is the fucking title, and that's a problem, because it's not called X-Men Dark Phoenix. They just totally omitted X-Men from the name.
Yeah, so unless you saw, like, a trailer or somebody told you, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's an X-Men movie.
Not at all. Dark Phoenix, and the poster is pretty ambiguous, because...
Yeah, it doesn't exactly tell you.
X-Men imagery on there.
The closest thing is, like, Cyclops, because he has the visor, but that doesn't really count.
If you have the poster with just Jean Grey on fire,
there's
no fucking way to tell. So this is going to be a spoiler episode, but before you turn this off...
Aren't they all?
I'm just going to tell you... Well, yeah, but, I mean, we have to make that clear when it's a new movie.
Yeah.
But, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I wouldn't worry too much about seeing this movie, and I wouldn't worry too much about getting spoiled listening to this episode. I would just listen to this episode because it'll probably be more fun than actually seeing the movie.
And it'll save you some money.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't give them any money for this.
And this movie's pretty much spoiler-proof. Nothing happens in this movie.
Yeah, and, okay, the movie's so boring that we really don't even remember what happened.
No, we just got out of the theater about 10 minutes ago, and we're walking over here, and we were just trying to remember what the plot is, and we literally just walked out of this.
Yeah, and this movie's 2 hours long, and we don't remember any of it.
Which is embarrassing, not on our behalf, but on the fucking studio a little bit.
Possibly on our side a little bit, but...
Mostly because they made a really fucking instantly forgettable movie that we're gonna have to get right into, because I don't want this episode to be super long, because I don't want to sit here and talk about Dark Phoenix for that much longer than I already have. First, can we note that you guys, if you follow me on Instagram at FlippedEgg, sweet plug, but if you saw that there were literally, like, there were barely any other people in our theater.
There were less than 20 people, and
yeah,
it is opening day.
It is Friday.
In the afternoon.
Friday at 2 p.m. in California, and there were less than 20 people, including us.
And, like, we're in a small town and everything, but at least for Endgame, there were still pretty much a lot of people.
For any big movie, it still has at least, like, 50-odd people in there.
Pretty much for every movie, most of the theater is pretty filled. This one was not.
Not at all. It was
every seat was empty.
So obvious, too.
We got there, like, 10 minutes before it started, and it was us and maybe 2 other pairs of people.
Yeah, at first, and then... Jesus.
A couple more flooded in, but...
The point is, nobody's going out to see this film. I don't even know what the box office numbers are.
I saw that it made $36 million yesterday.
Okay, I guess that's not...
It's not terrible.
It's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, I'll look for it. It's probably not that much, though.
Yeah... It's really sad that we had both Logan and Deadpool 2, which were both fantastic movies and would have been perfect send-offs. But instead, they adapted the Dark Phoenix saga for the second time, and they fucked it up. They really fucked it up. And you are more familiar with the comic than I am, so hopefully you can help us through
I did research, in quotes, because I didn't really read... I read most of the comic. I didn't get through the entire thing, but I do know what happens, and I will tell you now, this movie has nothing to do with the comic. It is not really accurate at all.
I read the first 2 issues, and no, there's really no similarities. There's aliens, and they want the Phoenix. They follow the Phoenix and want the power.
Yeah, pretty much the only things that they keep accurate are the Phoenix Force, which they don't actually call it that. They don't call it anything
at any point.
And there are aliens involved, which I'm pretty sure they aren't specified what they are, and none of them have names.
No, that includes the main villain.
Yeah, the main villain of the movie. I think they say her name once at some point.
It's like Vux
at the beginning
or something.
Pretty much the main villain has no name.
No, not at all. And also, there's no fucking threat when it comes to the main villain, because it's Jessica Chastain, this really horrible... It's like you take the Infinity War Black Widow wig and you just make it a lot longer to, like, back length. And she's just Jessica Chastain playing a part, and I'm stalling for time while Franny finds the box office numbers.
Yeah, I can't really find it.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I just found more of it. Pretty much just 36 million. That's it. That's all they made.
And it is 4 p.m. on opening Friday right now.
So, I mean, we'll have to see where it ends up maybe in, like, a couple days, but I doubt it's going to do very much better.
Very, very much better?
Yeah.
I doubt you're going to do very much better in your English classes.
Nope. It'll probably get to, like, what? Maybe a little over 100 million. That's about it.
Yeah, that's going to be embarrassing, especially if word of mouth spreads quick, because this is 23% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And I mean, the audience score is, like, 60. It's, like, 64 or something. That's still not great, though.
No, it's not, and I think that's going to change quickly, because, like, it hasn't even been out a full 2 days yet to the public.
I mean, technically, it's only been out for a day.
Yeah, I guess so.
So like today. So.
Yeah, so that's... I think this is really going to be a loss. And I would love to find out what the budget is on this when you combine reshoots, because usually they don't release that.
Oh. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that either.
Alright, well, we need to start talking about this actual fucking movie.
Before we forget even more of what happened.
Because I don't even remember it. Okay, so it starts with Jean Grey, and she's a little kid, and she's in a car crash. And it's like, oh, both her parents are dead, but really, that's not what happens, because
she causes a car crash with her parents.
By fucking with the radio, and she gets her mom killed, and her dad it's left ambiguous what happened to him for a little while. But Charles Xavier shows up and is like, oh, Jean,
your parents are dead.
Your parents are
Come
dead.
with me.
Yeah. Which it's not interesting. That's how X-Men 3 starts, except her parents don't die.
There's some weird metaphor about a pen.
Oh, it's like, oh, yeah, you can take this pen, you can either write or you can stab someone's eye out, but it's up to you what you do with this pen. It's like your powers. You can either kill people or you can use it for good. And Jean Grey, and this is Dark Phoenix. No X-Men.
Nope. Just Dark Phoenix.
Can we talk about the really bad 21st Century Fox?
Okay. Yeah, so on the 21st Century logo, the like big orchestra, like the drums and everything.
Yeah.
And like the swooping. So they go to
what?
The swooping.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
I don't know.
Okay. But so they get to the logo and the X is on fire.
Yeah.
That's
like,
it.
Yeah.
Just everything's normal except the X is on fire.
Because X-Men, Franny.
Yeah, because X-Men and Dark Phoenix, so it has to be on fire.
Okay, but then they go to space.
Yeah, then they go to space because there's a rocket that went up, or there's a spaceship that went up in space. And
so what's the team right now? It's Mystique, Jean, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, Storm.
I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, so
I think that's everybody.
They're going to space. They gotta save like some NASA shuttle that's just floating around.
It's just spinning.
Yeah, and so they go to space. You know what? I was thinking it's a lot like the start of Endgame. It's like 20 minutes. We're going to space. Everyone's going to space. You guys never been to space before? We're going to space. And then they
Yeah,
gotta
a
do a
little
thing.
bit.
And then that moves the plot forward because she gets the bird. Or, spoiler alert, they kill Thanos and have to deal with that.
Yeah, okay, so they go up into space and they see the rocket spinning and it's next to the Phoenix Force.
Big solar storm.
Which they think it's a solar flare or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get all
and it's like approaching the shuttle and it's going to blow up the shuttle.
Yeah, in like a minute or something.
Yeah.
So
oh wait, but what about the Cyclops gun?
Oh my fucking god. Okay. So
it's like something from the cartoon.
So the space shuttle is spinning, so they have to somehow make it slow down. So for some reason in their jet that can go in space,
the Blackbird,
for some reason,
the X-Jet.
For some reason it has a cannon that Cyclops...
It's fit for Cyclops' visor.
He can attach his face to a fucking cannon.
He puts it in and it's so ridiculous looking.
He puts his face in a cannon and it shoots out a laser.
Uh-huh.
And it makes the ship start to slow down because they shoot like not the engine, but...
They just stop it.
Yeah, they shoot it and it makes it slow down.
And then so we get a good little bit of comedy where Quicksilver and Nightcrawler are gonna go in and save everybody. So Quicksilver duct tapes the space helmet to Nightcrawler. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
And then they go in, they save everybody except they forgot the captain. So they go in to save.
Okay, so it's Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, and they brought Jean for some reason.
And they bring Jean to save when they save the captain.
No, because they only go in once.
But no, don't they go back in because they're like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
I know, it's so fucking forgettable.
Yeah, and it all just blends together. But, okay, so they get everybody out, and then they didn't get the captain because he was somewhere different in the shuttle. So, then... Do they bring Quicksilver?
Probably just Nightcrawler and Jean,
I think it's just Nightcrawler and Jean, because they have to...
Jean can,
Jean's
hold back
telekinetic?
the storm or something. Yeah.
Is she like that in the comics?
She's telekinetic.
Okay. I can't remember.
For one thing.
I can't remember. But so they have her hold the ship together while Nightcrawler goes to get the captain or whatever.
Look, guys, this ends in her absorbing the space bird.
Yeah, she gets
none of this matters.
She absorbs the fire space bird and Nightcrawler's fine.
It's a pretty good bit when she gets the space bird.
Yeah, it's cool, I guess. But the shuttle explodes, and they think that she dies, obviously, but she doesn't.
Oh, she's fine.
Because Firebird. So then they all go back, and everything's fine, and everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm. And, the X-Men are celebrated heroes now, and people have, naked Mystique dolls,
Yeah,
which is
for some reason there's... Okay, I saw a couple signs that were a little questionable. Keep in mind that this crowd was of little kids, and these said kids were holding signs saying "Marry me." I couldn't see whose name it was, but I guess. And there were some people holding action figures, and one of them was a Mystique doll, which is
naked.
Literally a naked blue woman.
But then again, Barbies, you can take all their clothes off and fuck them. take off all their clothes off.
Take off all their clothes off?
Yeah, you can take off all their clothes off.
Okay, but yeah, there's just a little girl holding out a...
But they don't make them to be naked. The Mystique doll,
I don't...
Mystique has one
she
costume.
Doesn't have not really. That kind of is her costume, is just
being naked.
Being naked and just having dots all over her, I guess.
They should call them the X-Women.
Oh my... We'll get to that.
We have to get to that very soon. That's
very soon. But since Jean Grey just, I don't know, fucking blew up.
Oh my god, look what you did.
So they make, oh, we forgot Beast was there.
Give a fuck.
I don't know. So they have Beast check on Jean because she just blew up.
And he's like, oh my god, Jean, your fucking readings are off the chart. You're crazy, girl. You're fucking crazy, but you're fine.
And she's like, I feel great.
And then
he's like, cool. Bye.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why? What was the point of that scene?
I don't know.
She's
fill
crazy.
Up time. So
Then they have a party.
No, that's
after the X-Women.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, guys. So this is probably one of the most incredible moments in superhero cinema.
Yeah, it's.
I don't even know how
you can explain that. You can explain this.
Okay, so Mystique's being all pissy about Xavier because
as usual.
To be fair, Xavier is an asshole, but we also just Jennifer Lawrence. I hate her. I hate her face, but
Me too. She just has an annoying face.
Mystique's just like, oh my god, Xavier, you're putting your students in danger. Holy shit! Oh my fucking god! What a bad bloke.
Even though they're superheroes, and that's literally what superheroes do, but
because that's what heroes do. You're supposed to be saving people. It's your fucking whole job. Like, why are you
that's
here?
literally the point of your job.
And anyway, so then she gets all pissy, and she's like, "Oh fuck you, Charles, I'm leaving," and then she leaves. But then she turns back and says, "You know, Xavier, you know what? Usually it's the women saving the men around here, and so the team should be called X-Women." And then she leaves.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And there's a pause for wooing and laughter.
Yeah, there's a pause, because it's very obvious that they're trying to get...
feminists and women.
Yeah, they're trying to
make
feminists happy. It was just obnoxious. I mean,
it was kind of gratuitous. It was like,
okay, I don't care about your opinions on, gender politics.
It's not what it's about.
Dumb shit. The team is called fucking X-Men. Whatever.
But it's called X-Men.
Who cares?
It's not called X-Men because they're all men.
It's called X-Men because they're fucking Xavier's people.
Yeah, it's fucking. It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares.
No, it's not the point of the whole fucking name. Is that it says men. We were talking about how they're gonna stop calling Spider-Man Spider-Man and stop calling Batman Batman.
They're just gonna be Bat and Spider because men are evil.
And I mean, yeah, I guess we're pretty bad.
Yeah, but just fucking who cares?
You can have that shit in Captain Marvel, but don't put that in fucking
it's
Dark
so out of
Phoenix.
place.
And it's the only moment like that.
They never bring up anything like that. It's just kind of thrown in for no reason.
I don't mind the A-Force moment in Endgame or whatever.
Yeah, because it was cool, and that's fine.
And you have a lot of powerful female characters.
That was a good scene.
But you don't need a fucking Dark Phoenix for her to say, "Oh, but what if X women?" It's just kind of insulting in a way to
if this
audience intelligence.
If this movie wasn't an insult to the X-Men, if this wasn't an insulting close to the X-Men, I don't know what is.
It's just an embarrassing moment. And it's really...
It's a small thing,
It doesn't matter.
Overall, it doesn't, take away from the movie,
but I want to know... I feel like that was a reshoot
It
part.
Probably was. But honestly, I don't care. Just leave it out.
It doesn't matter. That's just a really weird moment.
This was a dumb rant. Whatever.
Yeah. But...
so after that, I think...
then there's a party.
Or no, I think before that is the scene with the aliens, then it's the party.
Okay.
I don't know.
Matter.
They're reversible.
Anyway, okay, fine. Aliens first then. So there's these really signs, they look like they're aliens from the movie Signs, and they show up in, what's her face?
Main villain lady.
Jessica Chastain's backyard. They show up, and she's just some fucking rich... It doesn't matter. She's just throwing a party.
She's just a person.
The dog's barking outside. She goes outside to see what's up. It's aliens. The alien kills her, and then it's like a scroll. It just copies her.
But it's not a scroll.
It's not a scroll. It's a.
It's a something. They never say what it. I don't think they ever say what it is.
It doesn't matter.
It's just random.
But then
alien.
again, the aliens are a big part of that comic story.
Yeah.
How they track the Phoenix.
But they. Okay, so in the comic. I don't remember, what are they called? I don't remember.
The QR, the Shi'ar?
Yeah, it's something like that, but the point is, because in the comic it makes a lot more sense, because Jean Grey as the Phoenix goes to a star and absorbs it and destroys a planet kind of accidentally. Pretty much the Phoenix needed more energy, so it absorbed a star and destroyed a planet on accident.
Nothing like that.
So there's aliens that end up tracking it because that's kind of bad.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
so that one actually kind of makes sense. In this, these aliens just want it because they want it. They just want it. Like, they don't have a reason. They just want to have it.
Just like there's no explanation to anything about these villains in general, or who they are, or what they want.
Yeah, these are pretty much the least fleshed out villains I've ever seen.
Literally every other X-Men movie at least has memorable villains. Like, I remember fucking Stryker in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like, I remember that guy. Maybe that's just because he's in other X-Men movies, but I remember him, and I remember all the other villains. But I don't fucking know who this lady is.
These
and they explain
unnamed aliens aren't.
No, it's really, really bad. And also, you never, like, this is the only time you really see any of these aliens. Like, you see it in its true form.
When they get hurt, their skin
but they never
parts
just turn completely back into it.
Yeah, they just look like normal people because that's too expensive, I guess.
Yeah, for this movie that should have a much bigger budget, but I don't know what the budget is because they're spending it in the wrong places.
Yeah, okay, so in case you don't know, before the movie came out, they had to do last-minute reshoots because apparently the ending was too similar to Captain Marvel.
Well, they were doing reshoots way before that. That's the most recent one. But also, I don't totally remember how Captain Marvel ends. I've only seen it the once. But
and I've never seen it at all,
I think it ends pretty similarly.
So yeah, they had to reshoot the entire ending because it's too similar to Captain Marvel.
I wonder what it was, though. Like, how similar could it have been for them to have to actually reshot it?
In space instead of on a train.
Yeah, but... Spoiler alert, this movie, the last, minute of this movie is in space.
Yeah.
She still destroys the villain in space.
Anyway, to the party, which something that's actually kind of cool.
Get a cameo from Dazzler.
Yeah.
You can turn sound into light.
Nobody probably knows who that is, but...
Or cares.
Yeah, it's just cool.
It's cool. You know, I want more cameos like that.
Yeah, it's a random cameo. She doesn't even have any lines. She doesn't really do anything. She's just kind of there.
Sage, who's in a bunch of stuff. It doesn't matter.
But it's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool bit.
There's just kind of random talking between Cyclops and Jean, I think.
Yeah, and then
there's Storm and Cyclops talk a little bit. But pretty much what ends up happening in this scene is...
Jean freaks out.
Yeah, Jean has a PTSD flashback of her murdering her parents, and the Phoenix gets out of control, and she kind of blows up the party.
Yeah, but she doesn't kill anybody.
She doesn't kill anybody. It's just kind of like a force kind of thing.
A Phoenix force?
Yeah, I guess.
And then
she passes out.
She passes out, and what happens to her?
So I think this is when she ends up in bed, and then Cyclops, Mystique, and Xavier, they all go to the Cerebro.
Oh, yeah, they go to Cerebro, and basically they find out that this whole time Xavier's been suppressing her memories.
Yeah, because when she murdered her parents, she actually only murdered her mom, and her dad pretty much gave her to Xavier because he was tired of dealing with her.
Well, we don't find that out until later.
Yeah, but, I mean...
We can talk about it now because I don't want to explain it later.
Yeah, it's...
You see Shazam? It's like that. Remember in Shazam when it's like at this... Oh, spoilers for Shazam, which is a great movie. Don't let me spoil
way
it.
Better of a movie.
Skip a minute ahead because I don't want to ruin it for you. But when Billy's mom just stopped looking for him, that's what...
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of what that's like.
Jean's dad just... Or it's not even that he stopped looking, he literally just gave her up to Xavier.
Because she didn't want to deal there anymore.
Yeah. So, that's a thing.
And he's been keeping that from Jean this whole time.
And, okay, everybody is mad at Xavier about it, but I feel like it was probably for the best.
I mean... I don't know. That's still weird.
Like, I feel like
suppressing
either
a
way,
little girl's memories. That's weird.
Yeah, a little bit, but
I
don't know. I
wouldn't do
feel
it.
like, yeah, I feel like either way it would have gone bad. So
Yeah.
it didn't really matter what Xavier did. But Jean starts to wake up and fights off Xavier, and he gets a nosebleed and he passes out.
Yeah, which is what always happens in these movies. Oh my god, guys. This one's really rough. Also, this movie doesn't fucking make sense, because X-Men Apocalypse ends with her already having the Phoenix Force.
Oh, yeah, so, well, I haven't seen the movie, but, okay, so Apocalypse ends with her getting the Phoenix Force, and at the beginning of this movie, she gets it again.
She gets it in space, and there's no mention to her having it in the last movie.
So, is that...
It's just not canon.
Yeah,
But everything else from that movie is.
So, is it a retcon? Is it just them not paying
but
attention
nobody's
to
ever,
their own continuity?
But that's how they defeat Apocalypse. It's just bad. It's just they forgot.
Yeah, like, I don't... Alternate universe? Another one?
But you have to explain it. And no X-Men movies line up with each other. But you can
this
try.
Is way too big of a plot hole.
When it's the title of your film.
Yeah.
And the first, pretty much the whole thing that revolves around her getting it. And she already had it.
Did she get 2 Phoenix Forces?
And why is no one ever...
different?
Then why would no one ever bring up the fact she already had something like this?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Alright, that's the end of this episode, guys. Come back next week for Hulk. Yeah.
But, okay, what happens after that?
Then...
is that Cyclops doing his weird run?
Oh my god, he does a weird frog run.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. We thought it was so funny.
Because it's everybody in this movie runs like that.
By everyone, we mean 2 people.
No. It's Cyclops and every single one of the aliens.
Maybe they had a really weird choreographer who's just like, that's how you
know.
gotta run.
But, so... Cyclops runs to Jean because she's freaking out. And
look, guys, none of this matters.
The point is, Jean runs away.
Jean runs away, and then she goes to find her dad.
Yeah, so she tracks down her dad, and
he's in some weird small suburban village town area.
Yeah, he lives alone.
Yeah, and Jean's like, "Oh, Dad, aren't you happy to see me?" He's like,
He's like, I guess.
I don't really care. And then she's looking at the wall, and she's got all the pictures of her dead mom, but no pictures of her, and so she starts freaking out and using the Phoenix Force stuff. And then she starts flipping the fuck out, and then... but also Jessica Chastain is, with this cult of other aliens.
Yeah, because they want the Phoenix Force, because whatever, because they want it.
Yeah, so they're all after the Phoenix Force, and then she starts fucking shit up, and then the X-Men are like, okay, let's go find Jean, and then...
while she's mad about her abandonment issues, the X-Men are like, hey, come back, please, because you're gonna fuck shit up, and then she proceeds to fuck shit up,
and then she's breaking houses. This part was pretty cool, and she's pulling the house in.
The police
blows up a bunch of cop cars.
Yeah, the police come, and she's just like, fuck off, and she just blows all of them away.
And then Mystique's trying to talk her down, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah, Mystique dies.
Mystique gets impaled pretty fucking graphically.
Surprisingly, that's well, this entire movie is pretty graphic.
The X-Men movies are way more violent than the MCU movies, though. They always have been.
But
in the last one, Magneto slits about 20 cops' throats open with just a pendant.
Yeah,
Wolverine,
sure.
You know,
he
tends to get messy.
Logan is Logan.
Well, I'm not even talking about Logan. I'm talking about
just in general.
In general.
I mean, it's kind of hard when you have 6 knives in your hands. Good job.
Yeah.
So Mystique dies. Quicksilver is pretty much taken out of the rest of the movie.
Oh, that sucks, but that was a good bit when he's running.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
We don't get any cool Quicksilver scenes, though, when he's running the music, though, so that was really disappointing. Yeah. Because those are the best parts of the others. Okay. Yeah, they really just nerf him. He's really none the rest of the time.
So, would this be a... Okay, so Quicksilver's, running on, random like rubble or whatever to get up to Jean. And since his entire thing is running faster than anybody, apparently that just doesn't affect Jean.
Phoenix Force.
So I guess it's another one of her powers. Which okay,
she has lots.
Should we get into that now? Because she has a lot of powers and it's never explained.
Yeah,
she just kind of has them.
Maybe the weirdest of which is when she's an old man.
Yeah. Okay.
So
do you want to just go over this now?
She's at a bar and she tricks Jessica Chastain, thinking she's some old man, but she's like, "I know that you're Jean," and then is Jean again.
So we might be forgetting about what exactly her powers are, but
I mean, I know that Charles Xavier can like manipulate someone's mind to make them think that it's someone else, but like I guess it's fine. It's just
that
there's no explanation, and no, I know, but like they have similar power sets that have been shown in this universe. It's just there's never any explanation for it, and she never does it again.
Okay, so we might forget some of her powers, but it doesn't really matter because she has way too many.
Yeah.
So she has her normal powers, so she still has her telekinetic stuff. She's apparently immune to Quicksilver because she can just kind of move around at normal speed.
Faster than him, who's like faster than sound.
Sure. She can disintegrate people.
Yep.
That only happens in the end, at the very end of the movie. She can disguise herself, and she does that only once.
She can breathe in space.
She can breathe in space, which
she can fly.
Okay, breathing in space and she can fly. Those two make sense. Those were I'm pretty sure those were in the comic.
That's fine.
So that's accurate.
But being able to look like other people.
Nothing else that she does in the movie she's able to do.
No.
Like she shouldn't be able to do any. It's just like all she gets from the Phoenix Force is fire, space, and flying. Like
time, soul, mind, space, and flying. Those are the stones.
It's oh my god.
Well, yeah, but this is a shit film.
Anyway,
Mystique dies, and then they're all like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" And so flies off.
I feel like this movie spends way too much time talking about Mystique.
Nobody cares.
Literally, everyone's motivation for doing anything is just to avenge Mystique, I guess.
I don't care. She should be a villain.
Yeah, she's a villain. Why is she in the X-Men?
I don't know. But she's been leading them for the past 2 movies.
Whatever. So
this really is just a whatever movie. So
yeah,
whatever. It doesn't
Everything
matter.
that happens in this doesn't matter because the MCU owns the X-Men again. So
right,
they're just gonna
nothing
get
that
rebooted.
This movie does matters, and they didn't
do anything important.
They had that. They had the knowledge that this was their last one ever, and they didn't do anything cool with it. They didn't have Deadpool and the Fantastic Four and Galactus and fucking Silver Surfer show up because they could have.
So after
they didn't.
After she dies, they have a funeral, and Beast gets mad because Xavier's Beast gets mad because Xavier's a dick. Who knew?
Yeah, he's always been a dick.
And then he runs away.
Oh my god, those dogs. I'm gonna go deal with the dogs. You just talk about how Xavier's an asshole.
Alright.
Just get us to the Magneto scene.
That's literally about to happen.
Okay, explain about his hippie village.
So, for some reason, Magneto has a weird hippie village of farmers, and they're all mutants. So, Jean goes to him pretty much to just ask, how can you stop being a psychopathic murderer? And Magneto doesn't really help her. He just kind of gets her angry. And when this happens, she's not mad enough for like her to like explode or anything.
No,
but the military shows up.
Well, these 2 helicopters show up.
Yeah, and because they're looking for Jean because she just murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah, and a bunch of cops.
Yeah, so the military's after her, and she just decides, fuck them.
So she destroys one helicopter.
Yeah, so she just kind of makes I'm pretty sure the helicopter was, like, turned off. She kind of just turns it back on, and then turns it on its side so that it spins.
It destroys its propellers.
Doesn't kill anybody, I don't think. Just kind of spins.
Whatever.
And then, okay.
This is our favorite part of the whole movie.
This is literally the best scene in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, she starts to lift the second helicopter.
Mm-hmm. And Magneto is trying to bring it back down to the ground using his magnetism powers.
And he's struggling a little bit. And
then he starts struggling a lot.
So he screams at the top of his lungs.
And he does so much screaming, and it's so funny.
It's for a solid, 30 seconds.
And for Andy and I were
award-winning actor, Michael Fassbender, screaming because he's trying to bring a helicopter down.
And if you didn't know what this movie was, and you just have that shot of Sophie Turner just trying to bring down a helicopter, Michael Fassbender screaming about in front of a helicopter, just moving his hands around. It's so fucking
at a weird
funny.
angle, he's trying to, he's in the middle of limbo, he's really leaned back.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna fucking fall over. And he's just screaming. It's so funny.
So all the soldiers climb back into that one helicopter, and he just fucking chucks it.
Yeah,
he just throws
probably
it,
blew
and
up.
They're gone.
They're all dead.
And he tells Jean to fuck off because she's evil, even though he's
talk about how
evil.
she's covered in blood and not telling him whose blood.
Oh no, I forgot about that. So she's covered in blood because she murdered Mystique.
Yeah, she really murdered Mystique hard.
She doesn't tell Magneto about Mystique being dead.
Yeah, because he'd probably be pretty mad about that.
Yeah, so then
we're back at the X Mansion.
Yeah, she kind of just flies and she fucks off,
which is exactly what she did last time. I think they used the same shot.
Yeah, probably. Think they did. So then, is this when Hank flips out?
Hank flips out at Xavier's like, "You're an asshole. I'm gonna fuck off." Or no, that's not even what happens. That happened earlier. Because now Scott's like, "Oh, where's Hank?" And Hank's
so
going to Magneto.
Hank's not in any of his classes.
Did you check his quarters? He's not in there.
By the way, the acting in this movie is kind of bad.
Yeah, other than...
It's a little flat for most of the cast.
Well, because none of them care. They all know it's their last movie.
There's a couple people that do a pretty good job, but most of them are just pretty flat.
Fassbender always brings his all, even though it involves a lot of screaming.
God, that scene's good. I
can't wait for that scene to be on YouTube.
So... is it the bar scene?
It doesn't matter. The bar scene.
We'll just talk about it now.
Jessica Chastain.
Jean fucked off to a bar
with Jean Grey, and they're like, "Oh, did we talk about earlier when she was wearing a gray top and jeans?"
I didn't, and that's so stupid. And I hope they didn't do that on purpose. But yes,
yeah, they did.
Her name is Jean Grey, and she's wearing a gray shirt and jeans.
It's so funny.
Fucking whatever. I hate it.
I love it.
So they're in a bar, and she's disguised as an old guy for no reason.
For a second, Jessica Chastain's like, "I know it's you, and you're gonna come with me."
Yeah,
Firebird.
She's like, "You're evil, and I'm evil, so let's be evil together." And
so
she's just like, "Okay."
This is what we should always aim for. We're at the 38-minute mark. We're already an hour into the movie. This is perfect.
So they fuck off to some random whatever place.
What we thought might be the Hellfire Club, but I think it's just some house.
So in the comic, the Hellfire Club kind of
I guess a bunch of baddies.
I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. It's hard to
explain to
the uninitiated. They hypnotize Jean
into thinking that she's in the 17th century.
Yeah, and that she's married to one of them.
And she's one of her ancestors.
And she's somebody called the Black Queen or something.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't include that. That's a really dumb aspect of that whole story.
But I feel like they still could have used
the club in some sort of way.
But instead they replace it with dumbass aliens.
The weird science aliens.
I don't even know if that's what they were going for. It doesn't really matter.
I don't think it was. I think I just wanted to make more connections to the comics
would be
than
cool,
there were.
But they didn't do it.
The Hellfire Club is in First Class, actually. I think that's that group of mutants is.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they might be.
Yeah, but...
the weird, Kevin Bacon.
And Azazel, the devil guy.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Maybe.
God, that's such a better movie.
It is!
That's a great movie.
I wish we would have just watched that instead.
We should have.
First Class is such a good movie.
I might just watch that after. Oh god.
But okay, so
Dark Phoenix. Hank is with Magneto.
Yeah, Hank goes to Magneto and he's like, "Hey, did you know that Mystique's fucking impaled?"
And he's like, "We're killing Jean Grey right now," because they both had weird romantic relationships with her in the past movies.
So Hank went to Magneto because he has people like all over the world looking for mutants
to recruit to his weird hippie farm.
Yeah, to his weird hippie farm of mutants, and so that's why he went to him.
And so they're like, okay, yeah, can you find Jean Grey so we can fucking kill her?
And he's like, sure.
Yeah, and so
then they find her, and
he's with Dreadlocks Man. And
yeah, they're with. Did they even have names?
No, this movie is.
They're not. It's not very good at introducing characters.
In fact, it doesn't even introduce the other X-Men. Like, if you've never seen an X-Men film, you didn't know anything about it. Like, they never say Cyclops or like anything like that.
They call all of them by like their real names.
Which, if you don't know, then that's confusing.
That's very confusing.
If you've never seen a fucking Avengers movie in your life and they're calling them Tony, Steve, Nat, like, that's confusing. I don't know who those guys are.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to be calling the big hairy guy Hank.
Yeah, it's like who?
And the guy with the visor Scott.
Yeah.
If
it's like you can pick it up from context, but
like it's bad enough that
you should at least understand.
It's bad enough that some people might not even know that this is an X-Men movie.
At least explain that the X-Men are in it.
Explain who they are, at least.
And what they're trying to do, other than just save people. Like, they're trying to make a name for mutant rights. And
this movie's bad.
It's really bad, and not even, like... I'm okay with a movie that's bad as long as it's interesting, but it's not interesting.
This movie's funny when you watch it, but then you talk about it and it's bad.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of dead space when you watch it. Like, I just wanted sometimes for it to be over. Like, especially in, like, this sequence when they're all fighting. Like, this is probably the most boring part, and it's one of the major action sequences.
I thought it was better than most of the movie.
I guess.
But that's not saying much.
Well, so Magneto's Dreadlocks Man, and...
so Magneto and Nightcrawler and Storm, who I don't think we mentioned in this entire movie because she doesn't do anything.
Barely in it. She was barely in the last one. I feel bad. I love Storm.
There's one more person.
Did you say Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Nightcrawler, Xavier,
Scott,
and Storm.
Storm.
Those four, they go...
I love that... It's so fucking weird that Xavier was like, no, we're not taking Storm. That's racist and sexist.
It's really weird because for some reason he's very against Storm coming, and he even tells Nightcrawler to just teleport them and then leave.
He's like, just take me and Scott, Kurt, or I'll fucking break your legs.
Yeah, but then he tells Kurt to leave, and he doesn't do that.
No.
They all end up just staying.
And Scott's like, no, Storm, come with us because we need you. And Xavier's like, Scott! And it's really weird. It's like, why doesn't he want
He's so mad about it.
to come?
I don't... X-women.
So mean, X-women. Yeah, but if you're going to push X-women, why does
include
Xavier
the women.
hate him? Is it trying to say that all men hate women?
Probably.
Oh my
fucking
god.
Whatever.
Or it's just a weird scene.
I don't know. So
they're all there.
Nightcrawler teleports them to
in front of the weird Hellfire Club place.
Yeah. So they have a big fight.
Dreadlocks Man is there. He has living dreadlocks.
Yeah, and there's
some chick, I don't know
with
what
a
she
shaved
does.
head. She just has a knife and she doesn't explain what she does.
What does she do?
I have no clue. She just says that she has mind. She says, "You're not the only one with mind control."
Like another telekinetic. She's like the 8th telekinetic person in this movie.
It's like the most common X-Men power, I guess.
Yeah, because it's every power. It's just I can read minds and also I can move things with my mind.
And also I can freeze people.
Like freeze people.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
They have a big fight.
So many of those.
It literally serves no purpose.
No, Magneto brings a train car out of the ground at some point.
That serves no purpose.
Kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a bit when he almost stabs Jean. Oh, and then he gets to Jean Grey and almost stabs her in the face with an eye with a.
Yeah, but apparently, Jean Grey is a more powerful telekinetic person than Magneto, probably because of the.
She has the Phoenix.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably because of the Phoenix, and what I thought was gonna happen is Magneto's skull was almost crushed.
Yeah, but
with
then
his
she-
own helmet.
And she just stopped.
Yeah, then she just kind of stopped and shattered
So
his
she-
helmet and then
yeah.
pushed him out a window.
It's like, oh yeah, he could have probably. I thought she was gonna use the chunks of his helmet to like decapitate him or something.
That
Like, it's the last movie you can do that.
just fucking go for
Who
it.
cares?
Murder him. Kill him.
Shock people. Fuck.
no.
No.
He just gets pushed out of a window and is knocked out.
Everyone
Then the police
gets
show up and everybody
abducted.
gets...
Or no, not the police. The MCU, the Mutant Containment Unit.
Oh my god, yeah, that was weird to
Which
see.
that's in other things too.
But it's just a weird thing to
It's
like...
weird that it's called.
That's
that.
not what you think of.
It's called the
First thing you-
MCF at least, like the Mutant Containment Force. Don't-
Yeah, just... I don't know.
Anyway, they're all abducted.
And then Xavier... Oh yeah, Xavier gets teleported in there before everybody's abducted. This is a weird scene where Jean forces Xavier to walk.
Oh shit! I
With
blocked that out.
telekinesis?
That was like kind of borderline offensive. To,
That
like,
was really weird and had no purpose.
like-
She just forces him to walk with her telekinetic powers.
And for those of you who don't know, obviously he's in a wheelchair,
yeah.
and so
He
he's
walks up an
walking
entire
walking
staircase.
about.
Keep in mind that this isn't him walking like he doesn't... Like, he can't control his legs.
No, she's like
literally
moving his
dragging
legs like
his...
a puppet.
She's pretty much dragging him up a staircase.
It's like when you
as
make
slowly as possible.
when you make an action figure walk,
yeah, where you
like
move their
that.
legs like one at a time. She's just doing that
and it's really
with a crippled old man.
and it's just kind of like insensitive and
Yeah, and then-
weird and uncomfortable.
And then they have a weird, like, flashback battle. Like, I don't know. I can't tell what it was.
I don't remember what was happening. Something about her dad again.
Yeah, they were just kind of flashing back and forth
which
to her
that
dad
is
hating
not
her.
a part of the comics. I don't think.
Probably
I
not.
don't think her parents. I think.
But it's just her having, like, going between flashbacks of her dad hating her and then
and it's so,
Xavier saying that she has a family with the X-Men and that she's safe and that she's not a monster, and that convinces her to not torture a crippled old man.
And then so she's a good guy again.
But then
they all get abducted.
But so the alien lady is like, yeah, you don't want the power anymore, so just give it to me. So she does.
No, but doesn't she? Does she give
They
it
have,
to her?
yeah, they have a weird hug thing,
Oh, weird.
and the power passes between them.
Subtext. Yeah. Oh my
Then
god.
everybody gets abducted.
They all get abducted, put on this mutant train, just going through the woods.
This is the coolest. This
is
entire
definitely the
sequence,
best sequence.
second best
Other
best
than
part of the movie.
helicopter scene.
So they're all on a train with mutants, and then the aliens show up because they want Jean.
And they take out all the humans, and then all the mutants
Yeah,
get
so
free themselves.
all the they don't free themselves. One of the
they get free.
one of the guys frees them.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
This is actually a cool. We're not gonna get in depth with it.
No, but you know it's cool. People are getting their
it's
throats
still-
slit.
It's fucking brutal.
Magneto especially is just cutting everyone's throats open with metal.
One that
jagged metal.
really stuck out was he ended up pinning a guy by the head to a wall, but it was with a piece of metal that went through his hand
into his
up
head.
his neck, through his head, and pinned him to a wall.
Yeah,
that was fucking crazy.
That's brutal. And then I love how much Cyclops you get in there, because he really just does fucking start zapping everybody.
Yeah.
And I love that.
So they all kind of split off. Like Storm goes up to.
She's on top of the train.
Yeah, she's on top of the train with Beast, and then Magneto and Nightcrawler are inside.
Oh, I like when Nightcrawler goes crazy and just starts
he was fucking insane,
killing everybody with his tail. Like
he's just
start of
teleporting with. I think he had a knife too.
Oh yeah, he did.
He was
That's
using,
right. Which he has in the comics. He has too.
Yeah, he had a knife and his tail, and he was just going completely fucking insane.
Yeah.
That was cool. Then he got knocked out. So
yeah, whatever.
And then
Scott's trying to get Xavier to Jean.
Yeah, so Scott gets Xavier to Jean, and then his job is kind of just to protect them.
Yeah,
so
that was
he's just
dumb.
shooting everything.
And then Jean frees herself after that action sequence, which is that's a good bit.
Yeah,
that whole
it's
thing
really
is
good.
Fun. We can't really explain it. We're just so bummed out that the rest of this movie is so boring.
I wish this movie wasn't a 23%. Like everybody
I wish it was
says
better.
it is, but
I wish it was something. I really wish that they finished strong.
But what was I gonna say?
Jean frees herself.
Yeah, Jean. So they have a weird conversation in Xavier's mind.
Oh, I like the bit when all the aliens are on the train car. Magneto destroys it.
He just fucking crushes the entire thing and just kind of
magnetism throws him into the forest. That's awesome.
But they have a weird. Jean and Xavier have a weird like brain conversation.
Yeah, well, they do.
I don't remember what it was about.
No,
I think it was her just kind of be like,
care.
"Yeah, I forgive you, I guess."
Oh yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry about what I did, Jean." She's like, "It's fine."
Yeah,
I don't care.
He's pretty much just like, "I fucked up," and she's like, "I know."
Which is I feel like I want the director and I to have that conversation where he says, "I fucked up," and I say, "I know," and I don't forgive you. But that's never gonna happen.
So then she just kind of like disintegrates all the shackles that were on her.
Yeah, and then she's fine.
And then she just she destroys the entire train.
I mean,
everyone's fine because she puts them all in like protective bubbles.
Like it's fucking The Incredibles or something.
Like, sure, you're Violet now.
Yeah, I guess so. Or fucking Sue Storm, whatever. Everyone's
so
fine. Then they're just in the middle of nowhere, and
they're in like a weird like.
It looks like the end of Endgame. Yeah, it looks like they're just in a hole in the ground.
Yeah, it's just, and then pretty much,
Jean fights what's her face, the
don't
alien
even
lady.
fight.
Well, they just hug again.
Yeah, so
and then they go into space.
Pretty much nobody does anything in this scene. They just kind of have a weird hug off.
And then they go into
them
space.
passing the power. I couldn't tell.
The Phoenix back and forth, and then evil lady's like, "Oh, if you kill me, you're gonna kill her." And it looks like Endgame, like everyone's starting to fade away.
No, not even
everybody.
Starting to fade away. Just Scott.
And they're like, "Oh, if you..."
Who was Cyclops, by the way.
Yeah, if you don't know, but Jean's like...
Jean Grey says literally the most generic thing she could have said.
First evil lady's like, "Oh my god, if your emotions make you weak, because if you kill me, then you also have to kill Scott, and you don't want to do that."
This scene physically hurt me.
And so
watch.
she just is like, "Oh no, never mind." And they go up into space.
Yeah, they go into space, and she's like, "No, my friends are cool.
She says, my emotions are strong.
Yeah, and
my emotions make me strong."
And then they blow up.
My emotions are strong towards this movie. Is fucking bad.
Strongly negative.
Yeah.
Got him.
23%, more like 0%.
But they explode, and it's in the shape of a phoenix. Get it? Phoenix Force.
And yes, Jean just killed herself.
Yeah,
for anyone who can't tell.
It's just like in the comic.
I wish I was editing this so I could cut back to when we talk about like when Iron Man and Natasha sacrificed himself and we're like on the brink of tears. Now we're like, and
Jean Grey kill herself.
Jean kills herself. Did she? I don't even remember. Yeah.
Yeah, in the comic she did that too.
But it was more interesting then.
But
I bet you
in the
fucking
comic,
$1,000.
In the comic, turns out that wasn't even Jean Grey.
That's some bullshit. I don't want to know.
That was apparently just the Phoenix Force
the whole time
taking the shape of Jean Grey.
Wait,
and
so
the
was
real
it never Jean Grey?
I guess.
See, already more emotion in my voice talking about anything else. So was it?
Because apparently the real Jean Grey
where was she?
Was in a lake.
Oh well, remember the bit in the lake when she's like, "I am the Phoenix," and explodes. Maybe she just died. So what happens next too? She's in the fucking river, and then she in lake.
But
Alkali Lake.
Apparently. I think she was in some lake in like San Francisco or something.
Oh, so not even in Canada. Okay.
Yeah, it was just she was in the bottom of a random lake just sleeping, and that was the real Jean Grey.
Wow.
So the Phoenix Force was a waste of time because that was just the Phoenix Force.
It's almost like this is a bad fucking story, and every time you adapt it, it gets worse.
Yeah, maybe even the MCU shouldn't touch this because they'll probably still
leave it alone. Maybe it just doesn't work on film. Yeah. Some things don't. So
we were hoping that Galactus would come and just fucking eat the
world.
world.
What happens after that?
Nothing.
Everyone's like,
Jean Grey okay.
Oh, they changed the name of the school.
So instead of Xavier's school,
for gifted youngsters.
Jean Grey's school.
For gifted youngsters.
Why not?
I guess because
everyone is happy.
She's a woman.
And
it's her school.
Ex-women. I'm guessing that Xavier isn't even at the school anymore because he
No.
said he retired,
And he's in like
so he's at
Venice or somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
he's in some random cafe, and then
in some country. Magneto shows
Magneto
up,
shows
just
up.
like I said before the fucking film
And
started.
they're
I knew it and like
"Hi,
this.
old friend, let's play chess for the
Just
1000th
wake you
time."
in the middle of the night, and they play chess, and then you see the fucking Phoenix from like
For some reason, the Phoenix is still in
it's just
space.
flying around, but it's not even in
It's very
space. Like you can
obvious.
see it. It's like
Anybody
airplane
would
level,
see, literally anybody would see the giant firebird in the sky.
and then it's over. And then
Yeah,
that's the end of a fucking 19-year
we
saga.
literally sat through the credits waiting for post-credit scene. That
Nothing
didn't exist.
happened.
Not surprised, but kind of disappointed.
Disappointed that it ended on such a low
You know what?
note.
That's how I feel about this movie.
It's just
I'm not even surprised. I'm just really disappointed.
because there are pretty much there's so many more good X-Men movies than bad X-Men movies. When you really think about it,
I mean,
not many
X-Men
of
Origins.
not many of the there's like that's the only one
Yeah.
that I would
It's
call
like-
terrible. Other than this,
Yeah.
otherwise it's had a pretty okay run. And
I mean,
now
I
it's
haven't-
fucked.
I haven't even seen most of them, but
Yeah.
I know that they're still pretty good. I know that people actually like them,
And then you have
and I've seen First Class.
This is how you
I know
finish
that's
First
good.
Class is great. But this is how you finish a franchise.
Yeah, this is.
We had Endgame not even 2 months ago, and that is the perfect end. And this
this
series
is
has been going on for
worst
longer.
way they could have ended it.
The fucking X-Men universe has been going on for way longer than the MCU. It's had another fucking 8 years on the
It's been like 20
MCU.
years.
Almost 20 years. And this is how it finishes. Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
It's it did finish in a blaze of glory. It just finished in a bonfire.
Yeah, well, I'd fucking take a bonfire over.
Not even a bonfire. This was just a dumpster fire.
Yeah, exactly.
This was just
it's
a
nothing.
fire.
It's not a fucking swan song. It's not a phoenix song. it's a fucking pigeon song. It's
one of the many helicopters that just kind of crashed and burned.
It takes forever, and you can't look away because
This movie's 2 hours long, by the way. That's why we don't remember much of it. 'Cause
and
it's
we
boring
haven't
in
even
2
been
hours.
recording for an hour. And you know us, we go on forever. Howard the Duck told us that we record for too long, and
Yeah, and for comparison, we talked about Endgame for almost 3 hours,
and we've talked
and that
about
movie
this
was
for,
3 hours.
we've talked about this for not even one yet.
Just about an hour.
In fact, I want to stop this recording before it even gets to an hour, hopefully, just to show how insignificant this really is to us. Because it doesn't matter.
So, after actually talking about this movie, I hate it.
I feel so
Like,
much more discouraged.
After finishing it, I thought, okay,
Whatever.
it's fine. It's whatever.
I didn't think it was
I don't
fine. I
care.
just thought it was
I just-
so fucking
Like, I thought it was
nothing.
I thought it was like at least a little better than like the 20%. I thought it was like maybe like a 30 at most. It still wasn't great,
No,
but it was
it's not great.
fine. It was whatever. But and like I thought that it was at least a little better than the Doctor Strange movie that we talked about. But
Which
this
I
is-
don't think we can
is
compare this
so
to
much
things like
worse.
Doctor Strange, though. Like, that isn't really a superhero movie.
And that kind of gets a pass anyway because
It's from the
it's
70s.
a TV movie.
and
This was a movie with
m-
a huge budget.
major motion picture from a studio that has been around longer than fucking anything that's independently owned now.
And it was just so...
Yes, it isn't independently owned.
It was so boring, and none of it mattered.
And it makes me so angry that you didn't cut it off with Logan or Deadpool 2.
Logan, I haven't even seen it. I still know
You're
that it was
crazy.
really... I don't go to movies ever,
I
so... But even I know that was a really good movie, and that probably would have been the best way to end it. They could have just left it at that.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
Even Deadpool 2 would have been a great send-off, because that's a great movie. We have a lot of Deadpool 2 merch over there. We have that Slurpee cup. We got that poster.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it.
It's a great movie. But
And this is not.
this is not.
Don't go see this movie. If you get
No.
anything out of this episode, just don't go watch this
There's
movie.
no... You're not supporting any cause if you even see it.
You're giving...
There's no reason for this. You're giving your money away.
You're giving you're giving Fox more of your money, which frankly they don't need it.
And they don't even...
They're one of the companies that just generates infinite money. They're not gonna lose anything from this.
If you don't pay the $12 to go see Dark Phoenix, they're not gonna care. And you shouldn't care. Just because it's a Marvel movie and it's an X-Men movie, and you want to see all the superhero movies, which is what we do here, it's really just not worth going out for.
It's not worth wasting $12 per person
if you really
or wasting 2 hours of your life.
If you really care about the X-Men,
just watch First Class.
Go back
instead.
and watch another one. Watch First Class. Watch Days of Future Past.
Watch Deadpool.
Watch Deadpool. Or the Wolverine. The Wolverine is so underrated. It's so good.
Watch literally any of the other X-Men movies, and it'll be better than this one.
Don't watch Dark Phoenix. And we're into an hour now.
Or what? Don't watch X-Men Origins either.
X-Men Origins is still
that's
a lot
pretty much
funnier.
It's a lot funnier, but it's pretty much just as bad as this one.
Yeah, but I don't hate it as much
because
it didn't
because it's funny.
It didn't end the fucking franchise.
Yeah, I feel like this one it's so much worse because it's the end, because it just feels like an insult
to everything that came before and to everything kind of going forward.
It's just an insult to everybody that liked these movies for 20 years.
20 years is a long time.
Frankly, this movie is just embarrassing.
And the fact that, like, I don't know, that there's just so many other fucking incredible superhero movies. In fact, I think that if this wasn't the last Fox X-Men movie because Disney owned it, if they released this without being owned by Disney, this still probably would be the last one because nobody would care. Like, we know it's the last one, but even if you didn't release it, I feel like it might be the last one. Other than, like, a Deadpool, but I don't know if you would make another X-Men movie in this timeline.
Deadpool doesn't really count.
Deadpool lives in his own space.
Yeah. Well, okay, he's kind of an X-Men character in the comics, but in the movies, I feel like he's more of his own thing. He references the X-Men a lot.
The X-Men will show up.
The D-class X-Men will show up, and Colossus.
Well, all the A-class X-Men show up in Deadpool 2, remember?
Oh, yeah. But it's
just not worth your time. I feel like
if this wasn't the last one, they could have maybe salvaged it a little bit. I mean, they recovered after X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
So I think this would have just been remembered as another X-Men Origins, and that might be what it's remembered as.
I don't even know if it'll be remembered as that. I don't think it'll be remembered in general, because there's nothing that happens.
Yeah, it's just... The only thing you'll remember it as is it was the last X-Men movie before the MCU fixed it.
And just...
Because we should all be very thankful. The MCU's not going to fuck it up. Like,
no, it's going to be fine. I don't care if they don't cast who you want them to cast as Wolverine.
I don't care if they're I don't even care if they're politically correct and they change the X-Men name. It's gonna be good.
That's okay. Anything they do with mutants will be better than this.
Anything they do with any of the Fox characters will be better.
Yeah. Well, guys, sorry this ended in a bit of a downer, but this movie's a bit of a downer.
This entire episode has been a downer. We've just been complaining for an hour straight.
Well, at least this time it's warranted, because this is a trash film.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't waste your money,
We've done a lot of complaining on this show.
We've watched a lot of bad shit on this show. But
hey, it's
I would
not
rather
all
watch
bad.
Anything else that we watched beforehand on this.
Yeah, I'd rather watch all of those again in a row without sleeping.
I would do that.
Over watching this movie again.
Don't see it, guys. Okay, so sorry, but next week we'll be back.
We'll be watching Hulk, and it'll be better.
It'll be much better watching Incredible Hulk Returns. If you guys wanna watch it, so you can follow along with us, you can check that out. New release schedule. I'm gonna release these on Fridays now because it's summer, but I still want enough time.
Because Gabe doesn't know how to edit fast.
No,
I'm
well,
joking.
I don't want to blow my brains out every time that I have to do this. So
it's understandable.
But
I mean, I can't really comment on it because I'm not very involved with any of this.
That's not true. I
don't do too much behind the scenes.
If you weren't here, I'd just be talking to myself, which I probably would have done. I just talk to myself.
Is that not what you already do?
5 hours about. Oh yeah, no, that's all I do. I just sit in like a dog cage and just talk about.
You sit in here
Yeah.
talking to yourself.
Yeah, that's what I do. In fact, I never release the episodes with both of us. I just release my part. But
You just cut me out
yeah,
of
all of it. Yeah, I don't have schizophrenia that I know about. Anyway,
Is it the voices? Are you Harley Quinn now?
Harley Quinn doesn't have schizophrenia.
I mean,
oh
in
my
Suicide
God.
Squad.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
That's
Suicide
another bad
Squad
movie.
is
Don't
another
watch that
bad
one
movie
either.
you shouldn't watch. But I think people know that by now. So don't check out Dark Phoenix, but check out us. Check out last week's episode with Ed Gale. Episode before that, I'm very proud of our Howard the Duck episode. I think it's very funny, and you guys will enjoy that one. I have sex with Leah Thompson in it.
You wish.
Yeah, one day. Nope. Probably got to cut that one out. Okay, yes, you can find me on social media in the links. I'm not gonna say it. You guys know.
Thanks for listening
Thanks
to
for
us complain for an
listening.
hour.
Don't see it.
And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to ex-women. To ex-women. To ex-women. To ex-women.